All right, CYA for Jude.
Sorry.
We have our esteemed panel here today. I've been drinking, by the way, just to let you all know. No, not watermelon. That is crazy.
Beyonce made me do it.
I hope you know the connotation of what that really means. That means watermelon seeds. I hope you know that.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that would be a wild thing that you're putting that on me right now. You know what I'm saying?
My apologies.
I'm a strong black man. All right, so we got LP. We also have Phil. And to the people who really matter in this, we have our brother Brian. Please introduce yourself, please.
Hey, Brian Crockett with Crockett Law. You can find me on Bank on Brian TX on Instagram. Any of your questions about any injuries, if we can't answer it for you, we'll make sure that we can get somebody who can help you out. But we handle all types of cases from brain injuries, spinal injuries, anything you can think of, and we handle them all over the nation.
I'm really offended I don't have that fit that he got on right now, too.
Oh my God. Hold on. It's Sunday. The Lord's speaking to me. I just had a brilliant idea. I know you like black ladies, and it just dawned on me. You do, right? Juneteenth was like this week. Okay, just making sure. Therefore, it just dawned on me, if you were to get with Jasmine Crockett, the beach blonde, bad built, if you got with her, she wouldn't have to change her name. And you're both lawyers, and you could be super rich together.
All right.
Okay.
And without any introduction needed, Symone, please, our legal bestie, please introduce yourself.
Sorry. Hey, y'all. I'm Symone Redwine, your legal bestie. I'm also an amateur matchmaker in my mind, as we just saw here. Forgive me. It's summer. I'm relaxing and I'm chilling with my boy.
We understand that it is summer, and we have a good docket of cases today. We really do. There's been a lot going on in social media, a lot going on in politics, and a lot going on in the criminal underbelly in Atlanta.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a lot of criminals out there.
There's a lot of criminals.
That's my serious voice.
And we're going to tackle all of that today. Yeah. But first, just how have y'all been? It's been a little while since we've been around you two. How's things been going?
It's been going.
What's that mean?
It's good. I'm working. I want to get some things in some of my affairs in order so that I can rent out my house and leave America, because Earth is ghetto and so is America. I think I want to go someplace where they love black ladies, so either Dubai or Morocco for a month is what I'm
but you said Earth is ghetto. What other planet would you go to?
Yeah. That I can't afford to go anywhere else yet. SpaceX and all that shit. And I wouldn't go anywhere that Elon Musk tells me to go.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I would go. So I've always loved traveling, but I only like going to places that like black ladies. My first spring break was Jamaica. Yeah. Because if we're not there.
They love a black woman in Jamaica.
And American ones too. Because, 90 Day Fiance.
Did you do the nonsense where they put all the cream and shit on you on the raft?
No. Well, the last time I went, that wasn't an option. That's a new thing. They tried to do that, though, at my one-star hotel.
They are down there doing some freaky stuff in Jamaica.
What they doing?
The man who used to, the bartender at the hotel's name was Winston. Well, everybody's name was Winston. But I will just never forget when I was there, he kept trying to do it to me and my homegirls that I was with. He didn't care which one.
Wait, do it as in do it or do the cream thing?
No, do it. He was trying to do it.
Fornicate.
Correct. Fornicate. It's the Lord's Day, Sunday. I said, he kept trying to do that. And one day I just asked him, I said, Winston, how many kids you got? He said, men don't have kids. Women do. I said, oh, hell no. None of y'all can do it to him.
He's telling
and if
the
you
truth.
do,
That's
I'm taking all of you to the clinic. I told that to my girlfriend. Because we were freshmen in college.
It was just Father's Day, and I support Winston's message. He is being accurate. I've never had a kid.
Really? You haven't?
I've never had a kid.
All right. That's good. I plan on my pregnancies. That's why I don't have any.
and Brother Brian, how are you today, sir? How are you?
What's been going on, Brian?
I'm actually doing pretty fantastic. I'll tell you that I have 4 kids. The pull-out method is 96% effective.
So you have 4% superstars?
That's right. The biggest thing for me, I did my 2 weeks this summer for the Army.
You did?
And
yeah.
I'll just give a shout out that we transported over 1 million gallons of fuel throughout California.
Wow.
And so that was a big deal for us. And 438 soldiers made it out and nobody got hurt going back. So,
man, serving your country.
How many years have you been in service?
22 years.
Oh my God, y'all! That's why he's rich. Let me tell the ladies
Why are you
out there.
telling my man's business?
It's not his. It's
you telling
a
his
public
business on
fact.
the podcast?
I just want y'all to know
man.
if he wants to retire, he could literally receive a pension that's like $8,000 to $12,000 a month. You know,
Stop
on top
telling
of the lawyer
his business.
My point is, I like to matchmake a lot of senior citizens. If you're
He's
going to be
not a
out
senior
there,
citizen.
well, I'm just giving him as an example. He's young and virile, you know?
He is virile.
And 20 years is like nothing in the military. So what I'm saying is if you can find someone who's retired military, ladies, that's what you want. Who cares if he's a bus driver in that instance? Because he's a bus driver with a pension. That's all. Fun fact.
Speaking of bus drivers,
Yeah.
Ebony K. Williams is pregnant.
By not a bus driver.
But not a bus driver. She went to a sperm bank and picked from options of men. And she's due here, I think, in like September. It's like around the corner.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, she's due. So if you can't get you a bus driver, go get you a sperm bank. That's what I would say.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll just let everybody know that if you don't have the money to afford a sperm bank, my friend Phil over here,
He's like Nick Cannon. He's like Nick Cannon. He loaded and ready to go.
Absolutely.
Phil, explain
Awesome.
yourself right now on being loaded and ready to
I
go.
have been good, man. I got one child. I have one child. I'm good, bro. One child is good enough for me.
but it's a contractual relationship that there is no parent-father relationship.
On purpose.
No,
On
man, I'm
purpose.
good. I'm good. If I have a kid, I want to take care of my kid.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. I don't-
Okay, let's get right
I'm
into it.
practicing my supportive voice. I'm in the dating market. I gotta learn how to pretend.
You do. We're gonna do a dating show with Symone.
Yeah.
She has agreed. She doesn't know that she already signed the contract.
Mhm.
It was a verbal agreement,
Mhm.
and we'll do that in about a month before she goes to Dubai. We'll do that in about a month.
Oh yeah, because baby, when I go to Dubai, I turn on that Bumble, I turn on that Hinge, baby, I'll be out there doing 2 a days. 2 a days, honey.
Don't bring sand to the
lunch,
beach.
lunch, dinner,
You're
brunch.
getting ready. You're getting ready for the NFL season. What is
Pretty
going
much. Oh yeah, then I shoot myself up real quick with that Zepic. I be looking so good, baby. Don't let me hit up Turkey and get 2 dimples and a new nose. It's over for you hoes.
Now keep in mind, these are trusted lawyers.
No
these are
bullshit.
trusted lawyers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our first case that we wanted to tackle today. Last year, the college football was taken over by storm by Deion Sanders and his family at University of Colorado.
Yep.
NIL deals were flying in. Shador was like the second highest NIL outside of, I can't think of the quarterback's name, Archie Manning at UT. Shador was second. Shiloh wasn't far behind. But Shiloh ran into some troubles as related to NIL and people maybe that were working on his behalf to the point where he had to file bankruptcy, which is crazy because there's like judgments against him for things that maybe he didn't do or that he was supposed to do.
He did that shit.
And just
Yes, sir.
to the point where
Allegedly.
but allegedly he's filing bankruptcy for real.
I know that. Yep.
That is real. But allegedly there are things that maybe happened that has forced him into this point. So I wanted to throw it to the panel. Are y'all familiar with like bankruptcy law and how that works and why someone of his age with the resources we would imagine that he has filing bankruptcy?
Yeah. Do you want to start with that one?
Well, I can just tell you the biggest piece about it is if you have a huge financial liability, the reality is if it's so high that it'll take a lifetime to pay it off, bankruptcy is actually the easiest choice possible for you. It literally is a flat fee for a lot of people, but obviously we're talking about a lot of money. But it is a flat fee. It can wipe out an entire amount. Yes, it's going to hurt you for that 10-year time period, but in the end, it's really one of those things where it doesn't make any sense to say, hey, let me try to figure out a way to pay this back, when in the reality is I can wipe out this completely and then be able to move on with my career or my financials.
Yeah, there was to your point, I saw a post around the Shiloh situation where a attorney was saying many regular Americans would probably benefit using the bankruptcy law, but there's so much shame associated with being bankrupt that people don't use it when they really should.
Right.
It's really like a get out of jail free card.
Is it black
I've dated
people?
a few men that should have.
Is it black?
Especially us.
Yeah, is it black people
it's the
that?
shame.
No, I think it's just poor people in general.
Okay.
And when I say poor, I just mean not like upper middle class.
I got you. Yeah.
Like several of us end up in situations, especially with like unsecured debt, where you end up with balances of $50,000, $100,000.
Wow.
And bankruptcy would actually probably benefit you. You'll restructure your debt over a 5-year period, or a Chapter 7 will eliminate it at all points. And the shame associated with that, meanwhile, our former president did it 6 times.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's public information. So the shame is the fact that it's public information.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of myths surrounding it. And most people, the myths make people think that if I file bankruptcy, I can never get a house, I can never get a car, I can never get a business loan. I once dated an idiot. And when I did so, I instructed him. I did. I told him, hey, you need to file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
You've made a plethora of terrible choices financially. File bankruptcy. And he was like, well, I'm working on credit repair. And I said, yes, but you're poor. Credit repair is for people who have some money to pay back these debts. You don't. And you don't like to work. So when we put the two together, bankruptcy is a better option because it's one. But he kept saying, well, if I do this, I can't get a business loan for my future business. That's not true. And he was like, and I want to get a bigger house. Well, first of all, he already had a house. So I do say with bankruptcy, if you can get a house, get the basic things you already want, like a car you feel comfortable with, a place to stay where you've got a lease that you feel comfortable with. Because remember, when you have an apartment, they don't recheck your credit to renew your lease. If you've already been paying on time, you're fine. But in that instance, as far as being able to get a business loan, it can be 3 years. You can wait 3 years and be eligible to get another one.
Yeah.
Same with a house. 3 years is nothing because you probably need 1 to 2 good years just of paying and getting some things in order, maybe getting a better job, getting a certificate or what have you. Here, though, with Shiloh, this was what happened to this little fool. This little goofy.
You put the sauce on it, though.
Okay.
You putting a lot of sauce on
I'm going to give you
Shiloh.
the facts. I'm going to give you the facts, and then you guys can decide if the facts are silly. The facts were Shiloh was in high school.
Yes.
At his high school, the rule is you're not supposed to be on your cell phone while you're at school. He was on the phone with his mom. Everyone knows his mom, Pilar, and his father had a very nasty divorce.
Contentious.
Yeah,
it was one of the worst divorces I've seen.
Bad.
Yeah.
She went to jail, and she ultimately she had to go to serve a little time in jail for hitting him. In addition to, ultimately, she walked away with only like $2 million, but owed her divorce lawyers 2.1.
2.1. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Good
she
job.
owed more in the divorce. I've never seen this for a woman before.
Doing. Shiloh is not supposed to be on the phone at school. He's on the phone, and he's on the phone with his mom. His dad, who is basically the principal of the school, tells the security guard, hey, he's not supposed to be on the phone. Go take his cell phone. Security guard does that. Shiloh beats the crap out of the security guard such that he breaks his neck, his back. He has herniated discs, a plethora of things. This security guard files a lawsuit against Shiloh for this. Shiloh never shows up. He never responds. He doesn't even hire a lawyer to show up on his behalf. Therefore, in 2022, that security guard who had all these medical expenses and can no longer serve as a security guard, he won a personal injury judgment and got a default judgment of $12 million.
Which is crazy.
12 million. So when I say he was silly, it was silly of him to not at least hire an attorney and let the attorney fight it. Because that attorney could have either agreed, hey, we're going to agree to something smaller. We're going to agree to a payment plan. But when you get a default, what that does is it creates a lien against you. So now what's going on is the attorney for that victim is now seizing his assets.
Correct.
That's why he filed bankruptcy, to prevent the seizure, because what he's now entitled to, now that he has that judgment and he has these NIL deals, is that lawyer can take the judgment to each of these companies that he's doing TikToks with.
Which they have already.
And and send it to the TikTok company and say, hey, give me that check you finna give him.
So let me ask you this. So do y'all think that was Dion going through his divorce at that time?
It was over.
This was period. This is over.
The divorce was over.
This was done.
It was just contentious.
I'm
Great
wondering
question.
why they didn't get him
She
a
had
lawyer.
already went to jail, I think, during that time.
So
Yeah.
so why wouldn't Dion and them get him a lawyer?
He may not have known. Because see, what happens is it doesn't. He didn't sue Dion.
Yeah.
He only sued Shador. And then he say, well, why didn't you sue the parent? You can probably speak better to PI cases than the parent, but the gist of it is the parent's only liable if the parent had like prior awareness. And here, where the parent specifically instructed the security guard, take my son's phone for not following the rules, parent's not liable. And Dion helped, it's my understanding, Dion helped pull them apart.
So I just want to hit one piece on it, which Symone was talking about, which is when you're talking about a parent-child relationship, anybody under 18, if you have this known history, you can try to go after that actual person, the parents, and try to get through the homeowner's insurance or any other insurance that they may have available. But when we're talking about the NIL deals and the child actually has real money, you're going to do exactly what they did, which is you're going to take a default judgment actually against the child. And I'm saying child is in 18 and under.
Right.
But at the end of the day, one of the biggest challenges that you see is people will think, hey, I got served and I'm just going to do nothing about it. And that is like signing a blank check on your entire future.
Really?
Yes, literally. Because there's literally a limit to when you can respond. And if you don't respond and you don't later come back and say, oh, they didn't serve me properly. If they served you properly and you don't respond, you're screwed for life. It attaches to
what's
you.
Properly? What's properly?
Yeah. Well, how should you respond to getting
when
served?
serve properly means
serve properly.
like if they actually serve you. So what they can't do is they can't find out, okay, he lives with his dad and just give it to his dad or tape it to the door outside of the house without an order from the court.
See, I'm asking
allowing
for a
that.
reason.
Yeah.
So let's talk about getting served because I saw this video of that's a musician and I can't remember Tyrese.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese was performing at a festival and someone alerted him that someone was trying to serve him while he was on the stage.
Yep.
And I've never seen this before in my life. He's singing while backing up and leaves the stage.
Nigga moonwalk.
So goofy. He moved. You're right. He moved.
Is that like they really have to hand this to me in my hand in order for it to count?
Is that proper?
Is that proper?
All you ultimately have to do is be able to provide you proper notice with the paperwork. And so if they can actually say, signing an affidavit that I provided to this person. So if I throw it up onto the stage and you actually never even see it.
Are you serious?
But if there's a way that it can come back to you, then you can be proper service. There's actually a case where someone had flown over a certain state. And as they were flying over that state, the person actually walked up on the airplane, handed them the paperwork, and it was proper service, leaving in a personal jurisdiction.
Crazy.
But also,
that is crazy.
It can be found that you're dodging service. So, for example, in the video, it's my understanding he concludes the concert early.
He did. Yeah.
So
he ran out the arena.
So if I was the attorney for the person trying to serve him, I take that clip, I go to court, I say, Your Honor, he's clearly trying to dodge service. He knew we were there. He ended that. So, Your Honor, will you let us just tape this to his front door, the address that's listed on his driver's license? And every time the judge is going to be like, cool, go for it.
Right. So Rule 106 for Texas allows you to say if you can have some affidavit that says that you're potentially dodging service.
Yep.
All I have to do is say, what is your actual home of record that's listed, whether it's your driver's license, as long as they can say, hey, this car is associated with this license plate or the mail that's in the mailbox says your name on it, then all I have to do is post it to your door. And once I serve it, you have 20 days to respond.
That's it.
Okay. So let's say we're one of us on this panel.
Okay.
I'm not going to name any names. There's
me. I'm getting sued.
Let's say someone might be getting sued.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's their recourse if it feels frivolous? Because to me, this feels frivolous.
Do I hire an attorney?
What are you getting sued for?
Without going, don't say the company.
Say the context.
Don't
is
say
it
the
like
company.
an auto accident? Is it a debt?
It's a debt. It's a card.
Okay.
Some of the major flaws are that number one, that credit card company usually buys the debt from some other company.
Correct.
Right.
So
I see
they
that.
usually don't
Midland.
have the main. You can sit by Midland? Oh, baby, we finna win. All right, we gonna win, and you got to give me some money. Okay. All right, but here's what happened. Midland is trash. Okay. The number one thing is they buy it from another company, right? And they buy it as a group. They don't really know the facts. They don't know exactly how much you paid. They don't know how much you owe, any of that. And then the other thing is usually, you always have to have what's called a business records affidavit. That affidavit comes from the company and it says, this person owes this amount. I know this from my personal knowledge. I'm the person in the company that does the accounting or whatever, and I've reviewed their file, and that's how I know that we're owed this debt. Well, the problem is that affidavit has to be signed by someone with personal knowledge. And because it's signed by the person from the company who bought the debt, they ain't got no personal knowledge. They couldn't have it. They ain't never worked for Finger Hut. Is that what it is, Finger Hut?
No, why are you telling?
No, it's cool. I want to know.
Give me the timestamp.
Okay.
Give me the time. What?
Hold on, give me the timestamp.
Damn.
2220.
220?
2220.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
They've never worked for the original debtor. Who, let's say the original debtor is Chase and then it gets transferred to somebody else, right?
Correct.
They never work for Chase. They don't know what Chase does. They ain't never seen Chase's computer equipment, okay? So that is usually one of the number one ways that you can get that debt dismissed on their behalf. And then secondly, they have to give you a complete history from day one of you opening an account to the final day. They ain't got it. Because when they buy the whole book of business, right, of all of the debts, all they're generally given is what they believe is the final payment and maybe a payment or two before that. So there's some tricks. Come on my podcast, on my YouTube channel, which is, Girl, is that legal? And I'm going to walk you through it. And then you're going to have to give me some money.
No, we're going to do that. We're going to, and Brian, both of you, so Girl, is that legal? Y'all tap into that. We're working on something that we're going to put together. Yeah. And Brian is launching a channel as well, y'all. Come on, y'all don't even know it. Now, we messed up his first videos. His first videos was all out of focus.
For real?
They didn't even look right. There was not representation of what we do, but we're going to get them right. We're going to get them right. Brian is launching a channel as well. So Brian, I want to get your perspective on this. Just around owing people money and how you should move when owing people money. Because sometimes people tell you don't pay it at all. Like, what are your thoughts on that in the legal perspective?
So there's a lot of these kind of consolidate debt type companies out there. And the biggest challenge that they have is that they're actually trying to get you in default. They're trying to get you to not pay your card so that...
Yeah, they tell you don't pay for 90 days.
Right.
Or something crazy like that. Yeah.
And the reason they're doing that is because most credit card companies, if you don't pay and there's a history of you not paying, then they can come back and say, hey, this person clearly has no money. They have no finances. And so negotiate with us on a reduction. The challenge with that, though, is that they're really killing your credit during that entire negotiation. So if you have the ability to pay, most people don't realize you can actually contact the credit card companies or hire an attorney to contact the credit card companies, and then they will be able to negotiate a payment plan or something that can actually work. Because your credit amount that you owe, if you really don't have the ability to pay, the credit card companies just want money.
Of course.
They don't want to sell their actual debt for like 25 cents on the dollar. But that's what they do. So you have companies that are buying back America, so to speak, and they're buying all of these debts, just like Symone was saying, where they're not getting all the financial information. They're not getting all of the things that are required to prove their case. But the reality is they know that there's probably 75% of the people that are going to get defaulted on because they don't ever show up and say, prove you have a case. And so you've got to answer the lawsuit. That's the number one thing. If you don't, then the fact they don't have the evidence doesn't matter.
So answering the lawsuit matters. Yeah.
I got 20 days to respond.
That's right.
20 days. Okay.
So
okay.
I got 2 left. 2 days.
Wait. Hold on.
18 days.
Hold on. You started, you had 20 days.
Yeah.
Why are you down to the last 2?
Because I think it was on the 5th.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
Just write back and say general denial. Just say general denial inside your name to it. Just do that. And we'll go from there.
Okay.
And you got to remember that most of these cases are all filed in justice court cases where it is a flat fee for the firm that they're hiring, where they may only be being paid maybe $100 to $250 to file these. And they'll file thousands of them. Their entire business will be file on whichever bank. And all they're hoping for is You don't file an answer, they get a default. Literally, once you don't file it during that time period, they'll show up at the court and say, "Hey, judge, I've got these cases here. I need to get a default."
So I need to mail something.
You need to say something.
Yes, or e-file it. You never mind. You don't know how to e-file. Just yes, you mail it or you gotta walk it to the court. No, it's fine. I mean, when was the last time you e-filed something with the court? I don't think you get sued that often.
No, I don't.
Okay, I think you'll be okay. But I think the key though is to understand too, the word you're going to remember, you can always negotiate with these companies, but the key word you have to give is hardship. So if you're not going to, do not wait that 90 days, right? Where they kill your credit. What you do is you contact them and you say, hey, I have a hardship. They can do hardships for if you say, you know, my mama has a terminal illness and I have to take care of her or she lives with me. My kid's slow. You know, I got to, you know, put them in Sylvan Learning Center and I have all these new expenses. Whatever it is, come up with a hardship and they will work with you on a type of payment plan. But also you want to make sure that you always respond because once you respond, then you can set up a court date and you can do different things, such as if you do need a lawyer, there's a lot of lawyers that will work with you with the payment plan because they know you ain't got it.
All right. They'll work with, okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. Well, y'all work with people on a payment plan. You know, that's the.
I will direct you to people who will work with you. I'll get you there. Go to SimoneRedwine.com. Send me an email.
All right. What advice would you give to Shiloh?
Oh, Shiloh. Yes. Oh, so with Shiloh, the most important thing to note is that the bankruptcy judge denied his bankruptcy.
Sure did.
So what he needs to do, that means, baby, hey, you got to come up with that money.
They knew he had the money.
He needs to come up with a payment plan and he needs to come up with a reasonable one. Now, Brian, as an injury attorney, right? And there's a lot of costs that we front. You know, people think like, oh, we just roll in the dough. But that situation happened in 2015. He didn't get that judgment until 2022, and here we are in 24, right? Wow. So that's 7 years worth of staffing. That's just the lawyer's side. I would say he should come up with a reasonable payment plan, and also say maybe it's 12 million. Say maybe we're going to give you 2 million over the course of 5 years or something. But it needs to be reasonable because the truth of the matter is he doesn't have to. He, as in the victim, don't have to agree to nothing. But they would rather meaning. The lawyers would rather get some type of guaranteed money than no money.
Of course. Yeah. So it's interesting. I look at it like Shiloh shouldn't be ashamed of this. It was something that he did as a youngster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, you know, this is 10 years removed.
Yeah.
Literally.
He was in high school.
Literally.
And they just made a poor decision on how to handle it when he was in high school. 12 million is a lot, though.
If I was him,
I would have never a judge allowing a 12 million judgment is really crazy to me.
Wow.
But
for a fight.
But it's because it's spinal cord injuries.
But it was a fight.
It doesn't matter how you got them.
The damage, right?
And you a badass kid beating up the security guard at your private school.
Yeah.
And on top of it, you don't even answer the lawsuit. That's your challenge.
You didn't answer the lawsuit.
Judges don't like when you disrespect the law. But what I might try to do is if I was Shiloh, why don't you get you a little endorsement deal with like LegalZoom or one of those and be like, don't be like me. Call LegalZoom and get you a lawyer.
He should.
That could get him a good 2 mil. That could be 2 mil right there.
So you saying you're going to step out on the pod and get your own LegalZoom deal? You gotta get your own LegalZoom deal.
All right. The other thing I just want to say on it is if you do have a default judgment against you, that's still negotiable as well. Because the reality is if you don't have money coming in, they just want to get something.
But the problem is he has money coming in.
But at the same time, if you're waiting years and years and years, you also have the thing that the insurance companies use against all of the personal injury clients, which is, do you want money now or do you want to wait potentially another 3 to 5 years? This guy's already been waiting 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. And what you can do is right now the bankruptcy lawyer is saying no because he hasn't even attempted to pay a dime.
Correct.
But if he were to put something toward it, that bankruptcy judge, if he reapplied later, could come back and say, all right, well, maybe I'm gonna waive the remaining 7 million or something.
So he should do like a good 2 million.
Yeah.
Good faith.
Good faith.
So let me ask.
Don't be like
question.
Tasha K.
OJ, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he owe the people 30 something?
Sure did.
Million?
Yeah.
And I heard somewhere he said they'll never
see a dollar of it.
Now that he's dead, they will.
They will.
Because it's going to come from his estate.
Well, he had a trust that is wrapped up in his kids, but they'll still be able to get that money.
Yep, they can tap on that trust.
For real. But while he was living,
They were not going to get that. They were not going to get it.
Because at the end of the day, you're always going to have this argument that if you do get sued and you have all of this money or this debt and you have available assets, you throw it into your house. That way you can protect your house. But then once you pass away, they're going to be able to go after that. And so really one of the biggest things that you've got to remember is it's not protected until after you die. And so these companies like that are buying back America, so to speak, and they're buying all this bad debt, you'd be shocked that as soon as somebody passes away, that estate goes to say, hey, we're going to sell everything. We're going to give it to the family. And they're playing the long game. They're playing the 20 to 40 year game.
Yeah.
With 8% interest every year right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how taxes work too.
shit.
That's why I hate payment plans on taxes, but I'm gonna get off of that. They got me this year too.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm gonna talk about that after.
At least you're not going to jail.
I'm not going to jail.
Good.
But I considered it. Because they hit and I had an accountant too. Who
I wrote a $40,000 IRS check and it hurt my spirit.
I'm about to write a $22,000 one and it's pissing me off.
Yeah, my what is it? My tax person was like, "Are you sure you don't want to do a 5-year payment plan?"
I'm doing a 5-year plan. But
I'm gonna do it next time.
But I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay it all probably. Why am I talking about this on a?
I'm not sure.
Give me a timestamp. Give me a timestamp.
32, 37.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit,
Give me a timestamp because I was so irate, bro. And she tried to like console me. Like, don't worry. We know you
Your
just
wife or who?
the accountant. Keisha. I shouldn't be telling her business either. But she was like, we've been having those quarterly meetings. I've been telling you what to do, but you haven't been doing it. Well, nigga, I wasn't listening.
There you go. That was a strong end.
Okay, let me get off of that. Because
okay.
20,
it happens,
bro.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of bread.
At least you're not going to jail like YSL Woody.
Well, we're gonna get back to that, Brian. Now, let's say that Shiloh had been putting things on social media, had been talking about this case. Would that have any impact on any of his legal matters related to this?
So social media has really changed lawsuits from personal injury to any type of case because whatever you post on there is going to be able to create that image for you to put in front of a jury or put in front of a judge. So when you're saying, hey, I don't have any money, but here I am flashing Ferraris, or here I am on private jets, or here I am showcasing this image that I'm trying to show, it's all going to come back and say, well, what's reality? Yeah. Reality is you're doing this without anybody telling you, don't post this or anything else. And then here you are saying, I don't have any money. And so the truth is always the eye of the beholder. It's always subjective. And so the number one thing that people do wrong in social media is they try to maintain whatever image they're having. And at the end of the day, that's just going to throw off completely their legal argument or their legal strategy.
But how can they see? To me, social media isn't real. Puppy? Oh, that African dude.
Hush Puppy.
I used to watch him for the longest time.
You wanted to date him, didn't you?
I don't like that kind.
You did. Yeah,
I don't like them kind.
You want him at your Pop the Balloon, don't you?
He had everything.
Hush Puppy had Lamborghini.
He had everything.
He had Maseratis.
I met him in Dubai.
And he was mad cool.
Wait, hold on. This is a weird. You met him in Dubai.
I was really pretty.
What you still are. What are you talking about? Like, what do you? Why would you say I was?
It was in my youth.
Let Phil and I uplift you. Right now. You know what I'm saying?
I've been going to Dubai since 2015.
Okay.
So at some point there, and I've been there probably about
18.
Huh? Yeah, I love it. That's so cute. Yes.
Allow us to uplift you as a black man. All three of us black men.
Colored. Yeah. I'll thank y'all.
Uplift you.
But yeah, I would go during that, and I just remember, and I had rules that I had in place. Like generally, I was like, okay, we love the Nigerians who are working in finance with Fortune 500 companies that we've heard of before. International companies. Because I didn't want to go to prison.
Right.
And drug dealers love me internationally. We knew that. I had one little slip up.
We established that. You mentioned this.
No, it wasn't that one. This is the Dubai one.
Wait,
I knew it was a ride because
how many
he had a gold
dope dealers
tooth.
are you with?
He had a gold tooth.
How many dope dealers are you with?
They find me. I don't find them.
There be incognito dope dealers though.
I know.
I know one.
So I just knew, like, when you spoke to Hush Puppy and like he only did high school,
correct.
and then when you asked him about college, and he was like, college is for idiots. And I was like, oh.
That's like Birdman said. They asked him in jail. He's like, I can help all y'all. And I was like, we need books. He was like, you think books gonna help you?
Absolutely not, though. It's not gonna help you. Not in there, unless you use it as a weapon. Other than that, reading that shit ain't gonna help you get out of there.
So Ninth Ward.
Very much. He's straight up.
I'm from 7th, just by the way.
No, you're not.
My grandma is.
My God. I'm not gonna let you false flag. We're not gonna allow that. We're not gonna allow that. We are a valuable platform.
Don't be hood hopping,
Okay.
Symone.
You are not hood.
No, 7th isn't hood.
Yes, it is. What are you talking about?
7th Ward? No, 7th Ward, shorty. That's where all the Creole girls are from.
7th Ward is hood also. If there's a ward in your name,
not
you're hood.
Anymore. It's gentrified.
Okay.
London Avenue. We know, guys. You know.
But let's. One thing that was really popular in one of our episodes was talking around contracts through text. Could you have a contract through social media? Let's say you respond to someone and say, yeah, I'm with that. Could that be binding?
And yes, and it happens all the time when people like hit you up and be like, how much do you charge for a story?
Correct.
How much do you charge for a post?
We get that sometimes.
You send them a number, they cash app it to you. That is a MFing contract.
Damn.
But the issue becomes this. The company that needs that post has a timeline in their mind. Like maybe they have a launch of this or that, or maybe it's going to be a holiday and hey, I want you to make this post for my holiday. If you don't clarify by when you need this post, then you are putting yourself in trouble.
Correct.
Because the premise is that it has to be good faith and a reasonable time. And reasonable depends on what kind of post, the specifics, what you're looking at. Would you agree?
And it's reasonable time in the industry standard, not what
Damn.
you say.
Wow.
So if the industry, it's 30 days, 60 days that somebody's going to be providing the service, you've got 30 to 60 days to provide it.
Yep.
Even if you didn't agree to a time. The industry will actually be the final closer of what that contract says.
Yeah. And if it's something easy, like, hey, I just need you to repost this flyer I already did, right? Then, of course, you're expected to do that a lot faster after being paid. But if you're asking them, can you make a video using my wig?
Yeah.
Like, baby, that could be 6 months. Take your time, honey. Take your time.
What about sex? Like,
What?
Like, is that a contract? Too?
What?
Do you need some?
No.
Is that what it is?
That's a fair question. Can you have a contract of sex through DM?
I thought we talked about that guy from the Timberwolves who paid that girl $100,000.
No, that was to terminate a pregnancy.
Yeah, that was
Ain't that the
Anthony
same?
No.
Oh, no. There's the other guy this week, okay? He had a threesome.
We talked about that.
With the girls.
And he sprinted down the hallway.
Let me clarify. And he ran down the hall without paying those girls for their services.
Right.
That is an illegal contract. He don't have to give them nothing.
Correct.
He got free sex.
Correct.
You can never have actual contract based
on an illegal service.
That's illegal.
So
that's why when you sell dope, if you don't get your money, you can't go to the cops and be like, man, he shorted me out of dope money.
Very good.
Now, if you actually say that this is a contract that we're shooting a video, maybe you have a different result.
Oh, I like that. If it's like porn.
Yeah,
do that next time.
So if
I'm just asking.
So if Phil comes up with an agreement for OnlyFans content, and he doesn't pay them the money that they made on the OnlyFans, is he liable for that?
I think so. I think the only kind of caveat would be if your state requires any type of porn license. A lot of them kind of do because they want you to get tested or something like that. Other than that, free ball it, you're good to go.
I'm not getting tested. I'm nasty, Nate.
And the other reason it matters is because all of that content, whatever you do create, has to be actually sent in. Not saying that Phil's told me anything about this process. But you have to actually send it in. So you can't simply say, oh, you caught me. And this was, amateur porn here that I was trying to create. They actually have to send it in. That's why you see all these like under, US code, whatever, this has been submitted. So you actually have to do the submissions. Otherwise,
oh my God, I want to work for that division of the government. There's like a U.S. Oh my God, can you imagine earning your pension?
No, because you're going to be watching videos being all wild. Like, we don't want you in that division.
Yeah.
Well,
you already wild.
Yeah, we don't want you in that division.
I could only imagine if we had an 18-year-old Phil and he's very excited about it.
18 right now. What are you talking about?
But what's your preferred genre?
Of what?
Porn. Porn.
I don't watch porn.
He's like, I like basketball.
Oh,
porn.
okay. Jesus Christ.
He likes to watch people doing crossovers and
I don't watch porn.
Butt naked. Sure. Do you like that do you like WNBA porn? Is that what you like? Those tall girls, long-legged Lucy's.
No,
that your
man.
thing?
All right. No. So the biggest case right now, at least in pop culture, is what's happening in Atlanta, Georgia. Fonnie Willis and her office has embroiled all of YSL into a racketeering case, with Young Thug being the linchpin is probably strong.
I think that's
Head.
That's strong.
The
though.
head, just the head.
He's the head.
Because I don't
They
know
let everybody else go. When he's
everyone
gone.
else got out of jail.
Oh, for sure.
But him.
Yes, bless his heart. Him and that little belly.
Ain't that crazy?
I'm worried about him. You know what he like? He like those Ethiopians from Save the Children back in the late 80s, early 90s, but kind of the reverse, because they're skinny with the big belly and he's fat with the big belly.
Well, he don't got
Whatever they're
nothing but
feeding him,
noodles
I
in
don't
it.
think that's
Noodles?
real meat.
He eating a lot of carbs.
Yeah,
That's what
A
it is.
lot of it. He's got a lot of canteen.
But the problem is everyone got out of prison but him.
Yeah, they really want
So they
him.
really like,
But they ain't gonna do it.
tightening the screws on him. Recently, Woody from
YSL.
YSL
Woody has made some viral moments as a part of the case.
He's funny, man.
What is going on in Georgia? Because they're also trying to get Trump on a RICO case. And I don't know if that's going to go anywhere because Dean Wade was knocking down Fonnie Willis. Like he probably should have.
That was my mentor when I was
Dean
in law
Wade?
school. Nathan Wade.
Nathan Wade.
Nathan.
Did Nathan pull you
Like
too?
I've been to his house before and everything.
Did he pull you?
No, he was married. Fool. He been married to that lady
It
forever.
don't seem like married mattered to him. Like,
well,
bro,
there's some story behind that.
Bro was
now.
doing something
It makes
wild.
a lot of sense to
bro
me.
was doing some wild stuff. They was going on vacation. Multiple.
It was. They were separated.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Oh my God, as a lawyer, trust me, it matters. I've seen people that have been separated for 10 years, 7 years, 8 years. And especially if both of you each have your own boyfriends and girlfriends, then leave me the fuck alone. You see what I'm saying?
No, hear me out.
What?
If you're going to go after the
personal.
I know.
Yeah.
For real, it
I
is
went
so
through some shit.
Sound like she sound like she deal with Hush Puppy. But hear me out. If you're gonna go after the president, you need to be pretty squeaky clean.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
And if you know that you two are having a relationship,
Okay.
and she's paying you money to service that case, you probably shouldn't put him on that case. You probably shouldn't.
It makes literally no difference, but I understand because at the end of the
It's
day,
the
the Republicans
optics.
the Republicans are hitting low. Because the issue here is this: the issue that the Republicans are creating is that she selected what's called special counsel.
Correct.
It's because for various reasons they felt that she could not be impartial with respect to executing and leading that stuff. So when you get a special counsel, it is important that the special counsel is seen as completely independent. So that's, for example, why we had like Robert Mueller be special counsel with the U.S. government. They didn't want to use somebody who was a career employee of the government. Yeah.
'Cause this case is wild. Like there was a moment 2 weeks ago where it seems like some information was given to the defense where the judge, the prosecutors,
and Woody
did some stuff that they probably shouldn't have been doing.
They met.
Hell no, they shouldn't have did it.
Yeah, they met
That judge needs to unjudge.
Yeah.
So what happens? Is this case a mistrial?
It should be. So here's what the judge did that was impermissible and improper. So Judge Glanville, who's been presiding over the case, he had a secret private meeting with YSL Woody, whose real name is Kenneth Copeland, and his attorney and the DA. In that meeting, he basically was trying to, because basically he did not want to testify. Although he had been given immunity, he didn't want to testify. In that meeting, the judge is pressuring him to testify and saying, if you don't, I'm going to lock you up. You can't do that without also allowing the defense at least the opportunity to be present. You have to give them the date, you have to give them the time, and it must be reasonable notice. If you don't, that is what's called an ex parte meeting. And the problem with that meeting is you are giving an unfair advantage to the prosecutor, and you're not giving the same to the defense. Because the defense needs to know that this pressure has been put, because the defense has the right to tell the jury, hey, were you ever pulled into a private meeting with the judge? Yes, I was. And in that private meeting with the judge, did the judge threaten you? Yes. And what did he threaten you with? Imprisonment. Imprisonment if you didn't do what? Testify and say what he felt I needed to say. A jury needs to know that, don't you think?
I would agree.
So why isn't this case thrown out, or that judge thrown off that case?
Because there's too many levels to it. There's multiple. So first of all, so what they've now asked, so Attorney Brian Steele was basically sentenced to jail time. So we're going to get to that. Weekend jail. Yeah, but we're going to get to that. But what happens now is that attorney who was sentenced to weekend jail, he filed a motion for recusal. That's asking the judge to fall back and remove himself from the trial. Here's the thing about lawyers. We're arrogant. Everybody but me and Brian, not us two. And judge is not going to recuse himself this far along, because that's like an admission of guilt. Instead, what has to happen is it would have to be the appeals court that would do so. But the challenge now is, number one, they want two things. They either want him recused or a mistrial. If it's a mistrial, it means you got to start all over.
Yeah.
These jurors have now been jurors for, I think, 5 months now? 5 months at $25 a day. It's the poverty level. If it were me, I'd be making one of those porns we were just talking about, selling them bitches on OnlyFans to make my ends meet.
What are we doing right now?
Telling the truth?
I'm illustrating
what
the unreasonableness.
So Phil actually has some contracts you can look at that he's thrown out there in the past.
So does this happen in personal injury cases, like where a judge or the companies try to get information they're not supposed to?
So one of the things that you can always say is the judge is supposed to be impartial, and obviously there's political sides of it as well. Without going into the names of the county or the judge, there's actually a criminal case just outside of Houston, where
Montgomery County. I know exactly what you're about to say.
A little farther, but where the judge,
I know. Go ahead. Keep going.
The judge was actually texting the prosecution questions to ask for to the defendant. So, when you have those types of cases, it really comes down to, is the prosecutor going to be, quote unquote, the officer of the court? And in that case, he did say, hey, this is unethical that the judge is sending me this, and he turned over the information on the judge for doing that. But where you see it also, because I handle a lot of these work injury cases who are forced into arbitration, is these arbitrators have had either previous history with defense counsel, they may have worked at the same firm, they may have had involvement with the same types of cases. We actually had a specific case where the arbitrator never disclosed that they handled multiple cases with defense counsel for a major corporation. And so we actually had to appeal it to the appellate court and to the Texas Supreme Court to throw out the case, because the judge decided all these things against us, but never disclosed that she had a relationship with defense counsel.
Whoa. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like judges and attorneys sometimes be on the same team.
Well, you might look at the Texas Supreme Court for that, but
like that's what it sounds like. It sounds like maybe attorney generals, prosecutors, they're kind of working hand in hand, maybe, because that's why they have a success rate of almost like 98% or something crazy.
Go ahead.
On top of that, you got to look at the political process from, if you go from prosecutor and then you're saying, hey, I'm hard on crime and all these other things. So you're on this platform where you're trying to use that to get, elected. Yeah. So at the end of the day, your biggest factor is, if you have a lot of defense attorneys, criminal defense attorneys running on a platform of being light on crime, a lot of times they're not going to get elected.
Also, importantly here's what people keep forgetting, and the blogs seem to not really be covering, and I don't know why, which is that part of the main reason Judge Glanville doesn't want to recuse himself is he's up for re-election now.
Yeah, he is. He's in
up
November.
For re-election right now.
Yeah, right now.
If
You're
he
right.
reaccuses himself,
Yeah.
I believe that he probably sees it as election suicide because it's as though he is acknowledging and admitting to doing something wrong. Whereas chances are, by the time a higher court gets around to telling him that he should have or whatever, there's a chance that could be after the election. At which point, too late, too bad, so sad. Has this man lost his freedom? He has. But this man is more concerned, it seems, about his reelection than Jeffrey Williams' freedom.
So if they throw it out, let's say they throw the case out and they have to do a retrial, right? Is that does that benefit the prosecution or the defense?
I've seen it benefit both. Part of the reason it's here, I believe it actually would strongly benefit the prosecution from the standpoint of they now know who their problematic witnesses will be, and they will be able to better prepare against it. They know YSL Woody is going to act a whole MFing
That
fool.
was their star witness.
And that was their
He
star
was the
witness.
witness,
So
yeah.
now they're going to have to find a new star witness.
Damn.
And they're going to do that. They're going to do their best to do that. They're going to threaten somebody.
Yeah.
They're going to do something, right? Because this is an international stage and they're looking at a whole goddamn fool.
Yeah.
The second part is it can help the defense because the defense is better able to go back to them and they can say something like, hey, I don't really think my client did anything, but at this point, y'all have been holding him for 2 years. To save face for y'all, we will be willing to do something where we will plead guilty to something that enables time served.
It's almost been 2 years. That is crazy.
Yeah, he been gone for a while.
I just
Because
thought about that.
it was 9 months alone just to
Before
pick
they
the
even got
jury.
the jury.
It was
Yeah.
9 months to pick the jury plus 5 months now with the jury.
So isn't it going to be a harder time trying to pick a jury again?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
because
it'll
now
be
the new
impossible.
jury has to be somebody who
impossible
feels
now.
that they can be impartial. Let me tell you who's going to be on the new jury. I'm sorry, but it's going to be a bunch of people that look like yo granny and yo granddaddy because it's going
I
to
think
be.
she's talking about me.
But we established you're a black man, though. We established that. Go ahead. No,
It's going to be a bunch of older, probably Caucasians or older retired black people. Older
yeah.
retired people. Those are the only people that can afford to do anything for $25 a day.
But
And those are going to be people that hate rap music, that thinks rap music is problematic, that want crime to end. Basically, it's going to swing in favor of the prosecution.
Wow.
That's my opinion.
so the defense doesn't have a say so in who the jury.
Yeah,
the
they
No,
do.
they
jury
do.
is?
They do.
Oh, they
They
do.
do,
I thought
but
so.
the problem is
You got to
The pool is so small.
You got to
now.
narrow that pool.
it's so small because the pool is going to be people who can afford to get paid $25 a day for 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I
Who
did.
the hell is that?
I
don't
did
know
jury
that.
duty
And they
in
don't
Brazoria
get-
County, and they paid me like $15, and I was mad. And they gave me a cold sandwich
Oh.
that was terrible. And then they had the nerve to give me this card. There's like, oh, we'll put your $15 on this card. You could use it anywhere. Bro, that money didn't get to me for 3 months.
Of course it did.
That's how
So
fingerhood
this is just one of the things I want to plug here, which is there is always jury. You know, when you get a jury summons, and everybody's literally finding every way they can get out of it. The number one problem is, though, that who's deciding that case is going to be everybody who is not concerned with the outcome. They're going to be retirees. They're going to be people that don't have your best interests involved. And as hard as it is to say, I'm going to lose money, I'm going to have this happen, I'm going to have this happen, the people deciding the case, they should actually be the community and it not just being one minority group
Yeah.
of retirees.
So you say serve on a jury if you can.
Not if you can, you have to
You have
do
to,
it.
yeah.
Otherwise, somebody's going to get a horrible result because the people who are deciding it, one,
Don't look like us.
they already are saying, well, I'm already in pain, for example, personal injury case. Or they're going to be, hey, I don't like who the defendant is if it was a criminal case. And so you're going to have somebody deciding it that already has such a bias. And now you're picking between who has the lesser bias.
Yeah. I served on a jury and I was immediately guilty from day one
Why?
because I want to get out of there.
Lord have So you immediately thought the defendant was guilty.
You are guilty.
Jesus.
Why are we spending time here?
Oh, Lord.
You're
Now,
guilty.
I will
To the
say,
bing.
I will say that although it's $25 a day, Georgia law does encourage and kind of pressure companies, if you work for a company, for your company to continue to pay your daily wage.
Yeah.
So the law is unclear, but most companies do that. The problem becomes self-employed people cannot afford to do it.
Correct.
Because you can't force yourself to pay yourself money if you are the sole employee or independent contractor. Things like that.
Does Young Thug get off in this case?
I don't. Okay, so what I do think is now in his favor. When the ex parte communication meeting was initially revealed, and this happens rarely, it was done in front of the jury.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian Steele, the attorney, says something to the judge while the jury's there. If you watch the video, and then the jury, and then the judge calls for a recess. That's key. Because that's going to put some questions in the jury's mind. But it's important to understand that the jury did not get to see that back and forth where the judge is threatening his lawyer and is threatening him with the jail time and then did actually give him jail time.
Oh, they don't see that?
They don't
No,
see
they don't
that.
see that. They don't see that.
Sorry, I'm excited about
No,
it.
they don't. They don't see
That's
that.
my
Crazy,
point.
though. Yeah.
That's my
But
point.
why don't they see that? Why can't they see that?
Because when he know he messed up like that, you think he want the jury to see?
Oh, that's
They just want anybody to know it was
He doesn't want
actually
to,
partial,
because if the
not
jury
impartial.
knows he did that, the jury very well will find in favor of the defendant because that alone
It's a
will
cover-up.
create reasonable doubt.
That's why they
Now, they
made
are-
such a thing about it.
They are doing this in Atlanta. So let me ask y'all this. Could a family member call up someone that's on the jury
No,
and be
no,
like,
no, no. because
That would be a
that would
mistrial, too. That would be a
And,
mistrial.
and he would be in jail for that. He would lose on that.
But
Yeah.
let's talk about how it was revealed. Did you hear about how it was revealed?
No.
Because so the reason Brian was sentenced to jail time by Judge Glanville is because the judge kept asking
Who?
Brian Steele,
Yeah.
who told you
Who
this?
told you?
Who told you? He never said this meeting didn't happen or it happened, but it was within the bounds of the law due to statute. He was pressured. He said, I can't tell, Your Honor.
Yeah, I just seen Lil Woody. He was out. I mean, he's out.
He's
He's out,
now.
yeah.
But the judge, he's out now because his testimony has concluded.
Yeah.
Every person is out but Young Thug.
And here's the thing to remember. The hearing where the judge is basically threatening to incarcerate them and lock them up for telling about this meeting, that hearing is going to be televised, but it won't be in front of the jury. Again, the jury doesn't get to know any of these things that we all know. If you were actually a juror, you'd want to know because they'll influence your decision.
Yeah.
But that's why. So the law, under the law, the judge would probably claim that the reason he excused the jury is because this would be too prejudicial and not relevant enough. Would you say?
Right. No, exactly. And so it's always this challenge because I believe as the judge, you're running into this issue of if I declare a mistrial, look at all of the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that have been wasted.
Yep.
And nobody wants to be associated, especially during election year, with we just wasted all this money because I did
taxpayer
this.
money. Yeah, that's great. So, man, we covered a lot today.
We did.
I mean, we covered a lot. Brian,
help.
any closing thoughts that you got, how people can get in touch with you, etc.?
Absolutely. So if you look for me on Bank on Brian TX or you look on Crockett.law, you can find us, as I said before, any questions you have about any type of injury, whether it's brain injury, spinal injury, anything that you think you may have a potential case, look us up. We'll be able to answer your questions. And if we can't help you on that particular case, because there are some specialized areas, then we can be able to get you in the right hands. But ultimately, we're never going to charge you anything for giving you the answers that you need.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Symone, any closing thoughts?
Okay, you can find me at SimoneRedwine.com. I just launched my first ebook pre-sale, which is Background Checks 101, how to find out who the heck you're really dealing with. So check that out. It's only $12.99 pre-sale right now. You can get it at SimoneRedwine.com. And if you are one of the first purchasers of that, it will also allow you, I'll let you join my Facebook membership where I will actually be able to help you as you run these background checks.
And I just want to say that it applies not just for employment, for homie relations. It also applies for if you're dating somebody, you should check them out anyway.
Straight up.
Oh, absolutely. Specifically, this one is for dating and relationships. You can't actually use the searches that I'm giving you for employment, but I will give you like directions to other companies. You have to use a special type of company if you're going to like reject somebody for a job offer because of the world. But this is, if you letting this man move into your house or vice versa, you think about proposing to this girl, you thinking about impregnating her, you want to do this. This is what you want to do first. You gotta run them numbers.
Okay.
See what kind of debt she got.
Oh my God.
So Phil, it sounds like when we do the pop the balloon, we'll do a background check immediately after, and you can start impregnating women. That's great. Ain't that right?
Just have that contract in place.
Yeah.
Look, that has been CYA for June. We appreciate y'all. Hopefully, I know people find value in this because they always ask us what's going on. So that's episode